In the heart of Europe, there exists a town so quiet, so ordinary, that you could walk through it without ever suspecting that it holds one of the strangest secrets in the world. The streets are lined with small houses, cafes sit lazily at corners, and people go about their daily lives without urgency. At first glance, it feels like any other peaceful European town. Nothing seems unusual, nothing seems out of place, until, quite literally, you take one more step. Because in this town, a single step can take you from one country into another. To understand how something like this could exist, you have to travel back in time, hundreds of years before modern nations, before borders, before maps were drawn with precision. This land was once divided between powerful rulers, the Duke of Brabant and the Lord of Breda. They didn't think in terms of countries, they thought in terms of ownership. Land was traded like currency. A farm here, a patch of forest there, a village exchanged in return for loyalty or favor. These exchanges weren't neat or organized. They were messy, fragmented, and often impulsive. No one stopped to imagine how these scattered pieces would look centuries later. No one cared about drawing clean lines. They simply made deals and moved on. As time passed, the world began to change. Kingdoms evolved into nations. Borders became important. Identities were defined by lines on maps. And eventually, two modern countries emerged from this region, Belgium and the Netherlands. Now came a simple question with an impossibly complicated answer. Where should the border go? But when they looked at the land, they didn't find a clear boundary. Instead, they found fragments. Tiny, scattered pieces of land belonging to Belgium, sitting inside the Netherlands. And within those, even smaller pieces belonging to the Netherlands again. It wasn't a border, it was a puzzle, broken into dozens of irregular pieces. They could have tried to fix it. They could have redrawn everything into a clean, simple line. But doing so would have meant rewriting history, challenging ownership, and creating conflict. So instead, they made a decision that would shape the future in the most unusual way possible. They left everything exactly as it was. And that is how this town came to exist. A place where geography refused to obey logic. A place where borders were not lines, but fragments. A place where the past was never truly left behind. Today, this town is known as Baarle-Hertog and Baarle-Nassau, but names don't prepare you for what it truly is. Because here, the border does not surround the town. It cuts straight through it. It runs across streets, slices through cafes, and passes directly through homes. There are buildings where the border line crosses the floor, marked carefully with small white tiles or crosses. You can stand in your living room with one foot in Belgium and the other in the Netherlands. In some houses, the bedroom lies in one country, while the kitchen lies in another. Two neighbors living side by side may technically belong to entirely different nations. And sometimes, even a single house cannot decide where it belongs. But the strangest part is not the border itself. It is what people have done with it. In this town, people don't just live around borders. They live with them, and sometimes they even use them to their advantage. Businesses choose their country carefully, not by location, but by benefit. A shop owner might deliberately place the front door in Belgium to take advantage of one set of laws, while keeping the rest of the building in the Netherlands. A cafe might arrange its seating so that it operates under the rules of the country that suits it best. And the rule that decides everything is almost absurd in its simplicity. Your country is determined by where your front door is. Think about that for a moment. Not your walls, not your land, not your address, just your door. So in this town, something extraordinary happens every single day. people cross international borders without realizing it. A walk to the grocery store might take you through two countries. Sitting at a table could place you in one nation, while your friend sits just inches away in another. Borders here are not guarded by fences or checkpoints. They are quiet, invisible, almost playful, painted onto the ground like a suggestion rather than a rule. And perhaps that is what makes this place so fascinating. In most parts of the world, borders divide people. They create distance, tension, and separation. But here, they do the opposite. They exist, but they don't disrupt life. They don't define it. They simply pass through it, quietly, casually, almost as if they don't matter at all. And somewhere in this town tonight, someone will lock their door, turn off their lights, and go to sleep in one country, only to wake up the next morning in another without ever having moved.